About time you tune in. We speak life for reality. Our thoughts are not fiction. No one gets an opinion on the topics that we mention with the Holy Ghost boldness. God's in control of this. Real talk with real men for purpose and focus. Growth to get better. See, man up, we better. To change for the better. The future getting better. True man of God, lead it, going hard. It's time to level up with the Man Up Squad. The Man Up. You got this. M-A-N-U-P. Man Up. The Man Up. M-A-N-U-P. The Man Up.
Wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are now into another year, and we have made it. The Man Up Squad has made it. We're missing some brothers. We give Godspeed to Pastor Rice as he's resting. Amen. Coach was here earlier. We thank God for him for the service. But he's gone in. And hey, Dave, wherever you are, hi. Hey, man, give a shout out to Dave. Hey, right. Hey, that's the best way to holler at him. Hey, Dave.
Gang, gang.
Yeah, gang, 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 gang. Amen. We're here for 2022. We want you to take some time and share us today. Share us today. And also sow into Victorious Ministry as we journey into 2022, because we are truly on an assignment this year. We've been a couple of years we've been figuring it out, but now we know that the man must take his rightful place and be accountable to our generation and the generation that God has called us to raise up. It's good to see y'all guys in the place. Everybody's looking like they gained weight. Amen. Don't feel bad. Thank you for the shot y'all giving me. It's called the chest shot. I appreciate that. Amen. Hide everything else and move forward. And don't tell her to shoot down low. Amen. Camera guy say shoot them down low. We're going to talk today. Let's start the year off right. There's so much going on, but let's talk about finances today. Let's talk about, number one is, are we as a people are we in an economy crunch? Or are we affected financially? Would y'all say we are or not?
I don't know if I would say a financial crunch. Some things are going up, and some people are trying to take advantage of the COVID situation. But I wouldn't say that we're in a financial crunch. I just think that some of what we probably wasted, we now have to use a little more of that towards like food, gas, things that have gone up as a result of the pandemic going on.
Anybody else?
I would say no financial crunch. You go into the stores, Walmart lines still full, malls still full, places where you order food at still full. So people choosing to do what they want to do with their money for better sake of let's say enjoying themselves versus putting their money up for the rainy day.
Anybody else on this side?
I'd say, I guess, as far as the financial crunch, the only thing we're dealing with right now is the inflation. The prices of a lot of stuff is a lot higher than what they would be. So even if you look at some restaurants, like I know a restaurant that stopped selling crab cakes because they said in order for us to make profit, we got to sell a crab cake for $50 because of the cost. So I'd say the inflation is something that we kind of dealing with and facing with. But the stimulus packages and PPP loans and things like that, I don't think a lot of people should be struggling financially.
I think that with the inflation and I think with the government giving out all this free money, it's kind of almost like giving a baby a pacifier, and made people feel like things weren't as bad as they really are. I think this is a time where if think about this, inflation, they say entered at 6.8% last year, and if my savings doesn't beat that, if my savings doesn't beat that, and my income hasn't gone up like a 7% raise, most jobs don't give out 7% raises.
Nope, not at all.
I gotta figure out something. So, but financial financial crunch, I don't think there is. I think we still don't have our priorities straight. Like what you said, food places. I was talking to somebody yesterday that they got every purse, every bag, and they only got $50 going to a retirement account. Every purse, every bag, always travel, $50.
That's a good point. The crunch might come now, though. The inflation is so high. We should have, or what people should have done when we was prosperous as far as stimulus checks and money that was given out was hold on to it and not spend it. Because if you're not getting no raise on your job, now you need the extra funds to cover the inflation, the cost of gas, the higher, housing prices, but now you done wasted it. If your job not giving you the cost of living, so to speak, now you're gonna be in trouble because you can't afford chicken wings no more.
Anybody else? Well, this is what I think. I think that anything you buying now, you're buying waste. You're buying stuff that 2 years ago we would have never bought in Walmart or any other place. We're not even looking at the dates on the cookies or the boxes anymore. We're just really buying waste. The gym clothes you buying now, or sweatsuits you buying in those department stores and Macy's and all that, and there's stuff that was in the back that no one even cared about selling 2 years ago, and they're running out of stuff. So I agree with you. When we had the money, you should have saved it for investment. But yet you went out and bought waste, because you ain't never had that much money. You bought waste. Crab business is going up, but y'all was still, because it was money you never had, you still went and bought the bushel. You know what I'm saying? And spent hundreds of dollars on it. So I think we have invested in waste. And if you were smart, you just hold your money and now use your money down the road for something that makes sense. Or something that, because you literally could, this is the first year, well, last year was the first year you could get your paycheck, not pay rent, and not buy groceries. Because all that was given to you free. I've never seen that before in my life, where you literally can go around and buy and get 4 or 5 free boxes of food for free. And they had a program that you could get by paying your rent. And you still got a paycheck. But we didn't maximize, we didn't use any wisdom. Most of us haven't used any wisdom. And there's some of us that really did use it, and we are benefiting off of it today. Some of us have made some incredible moves, because 2 things that are in a demand right now, until probably the end of February, they'll probably be in demand to the end of February. It might start changing then. Houses and cars. So this is an excellent time to sell your house and sell your car. Excellent time. Excellent time to sell your house and sell your car. They will give you more for your car than the insurance would. This is an excellent time. So if you have stuff that's wasted, I'm talking to y'all that got that car in the garage that you don't want to let go because it was your granddaddy's. Sell that thing. Sell that car, that van, or those cars. We do that all the time. We get stuff and just don't know how to let it go. Just let it go and get some wealth and hold the wealth. And then when the transition happens, where everything that they had, because they're trying to replace what they lost or what they sold. And when that ship comes in and have more than enough, then you come out with your cash and you buy something fresh and new for a more reasonable price than now. This is really not, this is not the season to buy a car unless you're investing in a summer car. If you're investing in a summer car, the summer cars, number one, it can't ride in that snow that's coming down right now. Right. Okay, that's a summer car. You know what I'm saying? The top go down, and that kind of thing. This is good, unless it's a luxury one. But if you use some wisdom, you can get that pretty reasonable right now. You can if you shop around, if you just stay focused. Question: How did in the economy, as far as our finances, how did our finances benefit us in this last 2 years, or did it just get us to a place? Watch this, that we just became even. I'm talking about not just you personally. I'm talking about the community.
I think overall,
Everybody look for you to talk first.
I think overall, it was a benefit because people were able to get. There were a few people who, had job loss and things like that, but as a result of that, they were still able to get unemployment. They were still able to get stimulus. They were still able to get other monies that could benefit and supplement what they were making on their job. A lot of people opened businesses during these last 2 years and found their side hustles, if you will, to generate more funds. So I don't think that we necessarily took a loss, but I do think that we made great stride in creativity.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I would say overall benefits. You had
Pastor Marcus, your wife is giving you thumbs up and hearts for that, so I guess you pay her well.
I love you too.
I think overall benefits. You had people that were making more unemployment than they were with their regular jobs, or people that really did lose their jobs but were still making money. Unemployment. We had stimulus checks. We had child tax credit advance payments. We had pandemic EBT. All of that stuff was all, beneficial. It should have been beneficial to the community as a whole. I think a lot of people were up in a situation they've never been in before versus where they were used to living or whatever level they were.
You thought they wasted it?
There was a lot of waste. I think it was a mix though. I think there was a group that wasted it. I think there was a group that smartened up and started listening and started researching and figuring out how to invest or start a business to make more money. But of course, there's a group that wasted.
Mr. Rock, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, I would say I think that it was a benefit that people took advantage of. Like what you just said, there were people who was leaving their job because they found out unemployment was paying them. But then, because most people were going to say, if I ain't got to do nothing to, get the same amount of money I was getting, I'll leave my job. And then talking to other people, they found ways to even get, more money.
Yeah, because unemployment was paying people more money than they were working sometimes. Yeah. Because they did it even across the board.
And then they had people, people who didn't get the unemployment on time, that was waiting for their big, I guess, what you call that, the back pay. You know what I mean? And then once they get it, once they got that back pay, I guess their eyes popping, and that's where some of them who was getting the bigger money started living above, not living the right way, doing by right with their money, and because they didn't have the kind of money that they had before, they just was, frivolously spending, and that put them back at, ground zero.
I think the last 2 years, it showed a lot. I think a lot of people's eyes were open to, okay, so if I'm getting money, what can I do? Like you were saying, some people wasted, some people like, okay, so how can I take this as a seed and do something with it? I think a lot of people's eyes were open to some type of business, online business. I think also in the last 2 years, it showed you what businesses aren't necessarily proof. Because you have businesses that, like, think about if you was in the restaurant business.
Oh my God.
If you was in it's restaurants that are done.
Yep.
So it's like it just showed, okay, well, with transportation businesses, I know a gentleman that he had to downsize his business, his bus transportation business, because it's like, so it really makes you think about, okay, so as going forward in business, how can I make my business as streamlined as possible to where shut down or not, we can still make money. So I think.
But in some cases, it streamlined people and they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Some
Because they got rid of the weight. They got off the top. Like a lot of companies don't have to pay rent no more. This is what I think. Somebody gonna wake up one morning and say, wait a minute, I ain't gotta go in the office no more. But now my gas and electric is high. my phone bill is high, and the company gonna have to pay for that. That the company's not paying for internet no more, because using your internet that you pay for, somebody gonna wake up and say, and the company gonna be like, y'all better come back in this building.
Yeah, I mean, the more progressive, innovative type of companies are actually starting to offer like a reimbursement, right? Because we saving money on the lease or the rent cost, so what we can do is we can put it back to the employees, technology fee quarterly to get monitors or keyboards or whatever you got to get at home, or like internet reimbursement, cell phone reimbursement, the stuff that you're using now that you weren't previously using as much. It just depends on if the company is people focused or profit focused.
Profit focused, that's right,
gonna
that's
be the
good.
biggest difference between what the company is going to do for the employees versus what they're going to say, well, you come in the office, it's free. Like,
Okay, this is Man Up, and we want you to know that John and Dirk does is on Man Up show. It's just that this one they're just a little quietly. So just want you to know they are on the Man Up show. Amen.
Conferring to the experts.
I think we wasted a lot of money as a people, as a community. I think we wasted it. I think we didn't know what to do. Something my mother said, you can't give a person wealth and tell them to save if all they know how to do is spend.
That's good word.
So, and you know, she's just, it's like if you give someone, like I had 5 siblings. I was 5 altogether, and she would give us all the same amount of money. And one of us, soon we got it, we went straight to the store. The other one, soon they got it, they took it upstairs. The other one, when they got it, they wanted to barter. So it all depends on how you can handle money. Doesn't matter how much you get, it's how you can handle money. So, you know, it's like, and the way you know how you can handle money is how you handle your tax money. If every time you get your tax money, you got to go buy something, then you can't handle wealth. It doesn't matter how much wealth you get, you're gonna always go back to the same place because you know, I got my tax money, I gotta get an iPhone. I got my tax money, I gotta go get an iWatch. I got my tax money. When you think like that, or I gotta get some outfit, when you think like that, because what happens when you have that kind of money, then you don't consider cost. So now you're spending $400 on something you should have waited for a while and got it for $250. So it's all about. So I'm learning that you can't teach people wealth that don't want to accept that they need to be taught. Because most people spend as soon as they get it because they're not taught to keep it or save it to create some sort of investment. And that's why we don't, I always say we have a ceiling. And you have to train yourself every day to break your financial ceiling. There's a group of us, everybody in this room have a certain limit. When they make it that much money, they start spending it. Somebody might be $10,000. Somebody might be only $1,000. Somebody might be their paycheck. As soon as they get their paycheck, they can't break that ceiling and say, I'm a double the paycheck and hold it. I'm a triple the paycheck. They just have to break it. And if you can't break that mentality in that person, it doesn't matter if you get an insurance policy. It doesn't matter if the place give you a raise. It doesn't matter if it's a stimulus package. It doesn't matter if somebody died and leave you an inheritance. You're gonna always go straight spinning because that's all you know. So you gotta be able to admit what you know and then let someone teach you how to invest, how to save, one of the things I did when I didn't want to be a spinner, and I knew it was easy because I like nice things. So I would make myself give my mother, when I was younger, make myself give my mother the money that I wanted to save. And then I would put her in a predicament, don't give it to me until a certain level. Don't give it to me because every day when I gave her that money, it could be only $40. Every day, I was thinking about how can I get it back from her. I want to get some tennis shoes. I want to get a hat. How can I get it back from her? You know, and every day she would say no, 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 until the no became comfortable. And I realized that the things that I did want from getting that money, I realized I really didn't need them. It was only for that moment, you know. I'm going to go out there and buy some pink pants for one day. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about how you have to weigh the individual. And I think that the government knew it didn't matter how much money we gave a certain community, they were going to spend it.
Which is what they wanted.
And that's what they wanted, yeah.
They knew they was gonna get it right back.
And they trained hard on making you comfortable to take the money because they knew less than 40 days you were going to spend it. And you were going to spend it with nothing, buying nothing, because there was nothing to buy.
And you know what's a greater point, even outside of this time period, you talk about tax money. If you get by definition, if you get a tax refund, you really just loaned the government money for the whole year, right? Like no interest. They took that money from you and said, we'll give it back to you next February. So like as good as
And
it
they
feels
use
to
the
get
interest.
money back, it's better to break even, maybe owe a little bit, right? Because then you're like, nope, y'all didn't get my money interest free for the whole year and do whatever y'all wanted to do with it.
But people some people need to do it that way, give the government so much, because that's their bank account. That's the only way they're gonna get some money, one lump sum of money, because they have that discipline themselves to say, I'm gonna give them what they have and I'm gonna put the money, I'm gonna put it in my account to make interest, because they make the government, they make the tax people their bank account. And they're gonna be getting some checks next week, next month, and they're gonna be spending it because their bank account got full.
And the government knows, we learned this, but the government knows the whole system on the people. So you pay taxes on that same dollar 3 times. When you get paid, you don't get your gross, you get your net. So you already paid taxes. When you go to the store, what you pay?
Taxes.
The same dollar that was already taxed. And then when you file your taxes, what they ask you for, they don't say what was your net pay, they say what was your gross. So they stipulate your money again off of your gross, so they didn't hit that same dollar 3 times. So they put their money back in the system, with the stimulus checks. And now, sooner or later, when it's time to file them taxes, they will say, what did we give out, through the year, and then you got to put that down.
I would say to those that are listening to us, and I want you to share this. It's good to see you, Matrix. Hey, Coach, we wish you were here. And those that are listening, Jelly, I'm so sorry that we can only eat your apple on a stick for one day, but you'll be back in 15 days serving the community again. But this local community, you still can sell your product. But I would say today, deny yourself. I don't care if you got $2 in your pocket, deny yourself pleasure to teach yourself to save right now. I don't care how much money you got right now. I don't care if you're a person that spends and always never having enough to finish the process. Become a person of nothing. Live off of what you already got and don't spend anything else except for the necessary need, gas, rent, but don't do anything pleasure. I mean, if you go into the store, don't buy a candy bar because it's there. Don't do that. Don't do without to break the curse of spending and not having prosperity, because it's the spending that makes you not have wealth. So it doesn't matter how much you got. If you can't discipline yourself with $2, you're not going to be able to discipline yourself with $200. It's just not.
Crazy thing, Pastor, I was just thinking about the spending it. I like cake, all right, and I like cake. That's like I like cakes. So
Speaking of cake, we're going to have some cake after this.
yeah. So the other day I was like, Chris Gray, can you make a cake? So think about this. You'll go to a store, buy a cake for like $20, $30, but we already got the flour, we already got the sugar, we already got the cocoa, we already got the vanilla. So it's like I get a cake less you want to spend. This is a time to where we have to figure out a way when we get money. How can this money pay me later? So it's like, it's hard to get wealthy if you don't control what you're paying taxes. That's why it's like we have a conversation about, okay, we need to change our have a location in a different state, like Florida, who don't pay state taxes. Texas don't pay state taxes. We pay 6% here. That effect. So even if you got another location in that's one of goals, get another location, and we still gonna live here.
Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to tell you not live here. You're gonna live here.
Absolutely.
But you're dealing with a different bracket of wealth when you talk about two locations. Everybody doesn't have that opportunity. So I understand where you're at. That's normal. The conversation is really normal for you. But the average person don't have that opportunity. And because they don't have that opportunity, your information will be something they won't use because it's not really over the head. It's just I have not tangibly experienced that. And I'm trying to deal with the common person. I've been that common person before where, I didn't have, we have bought 14 cars, but no insurance. So it's like, you got to keep wealth following you. You have to respect wealth when you have it. That's so important, to keep wealth following you. You have to respect. I mean, I have some credit cards, and most of my credit cards have no limit. They have no limit. Please don't think I'm gonna buy something for you, but they have no limit. And the reason why they have no limit is because I've shown them that they can't give me a limit that I would take. You see what I'm saying? So since I showed them that I don't live by a limit, means you can say you got $10,000 limit, and I'll be like, well, I'm only gonna use $1. My credit's strong enough for $10,000, but I'm only gonna use $1. So they say, well, you're only using $1? Okay, I'll give you a $50,000 limit.
Tempt you to spend more.
Because they want to tempt me. So now I'm at the place they got me no limit, but I'm the guy that benefits off the cards, because if I use it, I'm paying it before the interest come in. So I can keep my money. You see, and I only do it, and really, I'm only using the card now because it's some pretty nice points to come up. You get enough points, you can go to Hawaii. You get enough points, you can buy some clothes for free. Get the Amazon points and everything, So you got to use wisdom. But to get to that level, you have to respect the little money that you have. And not like always counting. I might as well go get a cake. I only got $1.40. I might as well go get a cupcake and some potato chips.
Well, that's what I was going to say when you said if you only got $2. We live in a world now, in a time we've never been in before, where $1 can buy you a piece of stock, right? Where before, if you wanted to buy stock in a company like Apple, it cost $140. You had to have $140 to get a piece of that. Now, as little as $1 can get you, a share or a partial share in Apple. It doesn't cost as much as it used to cost to invest your money now. So what you said, the common folk are people that are not at that level. If you got $1, you at that level.
But when you have $1 and you know how to spend $1, the last thing you want to do is spend on something you can't use right now. So you got to get set free from the chicken wing box. So you got to get set free from the common things, the yakami box, the shrimp fried rice box, because that's what the small small businesses are eating your money, and you have nothing to count for. So now, for me to say put $1 in some stocks and whatever, they like that don't feed me. I don't have it. But then they go around the corner and buy a $5. I don't know, is it $5 chicken box $5 now?
Like 10, 15,
$12.
With inflation, now like $15 for you.
Yeah, so they'll do that every day. They'll do that every day faithful. They have bologna and cheese in the house, and they will not eat it because they got money in their pocket. They got chicken breasts and some potatoes, and they got some corn, and they got some carrots, and they won't put it together and make soup because they got money in their pocket.
If one thing, when I ain't had no money, I remember I had a budget, and I would budget. I used to go to Popeyes every weekend, and spend $25 on a box. I mean, family box. But it's like, instead of spending that $25, if I want the fried chicken, go buy the pack of chicken myself, fry it myself, save me some money. So the thing is that the biggest challenge, most people, they don't write it down. So they don't account for their money. So what happens when they swipe, they constantly swiping, they're not paying attention. So if you just write it down, and like you said, lunch. If you pack your lunch, most people probably spend $7 to $10 for lunch a day. That's 50, let's say it's 10.
You used to be able to spend $10 for lunch. You can't even.
See, that's right. I would never do that. But think about it. If it's 10 times 5, that's $200 a month. $200. I would take. I remember one time Kyrie wanted a Ed Hardy shirt, and I was like, it was like $100. I was like, so we was in the store. I was like, so what make his Ed Hardy? Back in the day, I was like, what?
That's
make his
way
shirt
back in the
more
day.
valuable? Yeah, but what make his name more valuable than yours? I said it's a design. I said I'd rather give you the $100, go buy a case of shirts, and come up with your own design and sell it. So just to multiply.
Yeah, I think all that's good. I think that's, and I agree with you. It's just that we got to get them from that place where wealth can't multiply in their hands. And wealth can multiply just by saving it. And I don't think that we got to get them from that place where they just, just spend because it's there. That's a curse. That's a poverty curse. That's a slave mentality where we gotta do it now instead of just we made Apple wealthy just by doing one thing. Trading our phones in every time something new came in. And Apple didn't get rich off of big corporations. They got rich off of the communities, people on York Road, Park Heights, Greenmount Avenue. I'm not calling areas. Y'all give an offering. Just give an offering. I apologize. Just give an offering to Victoria's Ministry. But good ground. But I'm telling you, they got rich off of the community. I used to tell my daughter Brianna, I said, listen, I want the new iPhone. She said, yeah. She said, we want to go to the store get it? I said, no. Find out who in your school needs some money and bought the phone. They'll sell it to me. They'll sell it to me for $100 and they bought it for $1,000. I don't need a new phone. I just need that phone. So you got the mentality. And I think that God has created us to be wealthy. Our time is up. We're great closer. But I think God has created us to be wealthy. But our mentality limits what God has created us to be. I think, I think that we fail not because we don't have great minds and great ideas. It just don't have no discipline. We spend as soon as we get it. We teach our children the same thing. Give them allowance, and give them allowance on Friday, and by Monday they ain't got no more money.
But you try to teach them right. I did this with my son. My son got a nice chunk of change for Christmas last year. Asked him what he wanted. He wanted to buy a video game system. I was like, okay, but is that wise? Because you mess up. What's the first thing I'm gonna do? Take the video game. So why would you buy something that you potentially will not have for some point of time? Do you have the video game? No, he does not. It's been in his closet for like the last 2-3 months. Because, and I specifically said, are you sure? Is this something that you really want or need? This is what you want to spend your $300 on. And we just have to get them, like you said, that mindset of using your money for what you need, not what you want. Because I have the exact same video game system. You can say, hey, Dad, can I go downstairs and play your video game?
That would be the smart way.
But you want it in your room for you to get it taken and not use it at all. It makes no sense. So I'm working with him.
I just think, and I'm thinking everybody, Chris Gray will be home real soon. Don't worry, Tasha. He's coming home soon. Pastor Marcus, your wife wants you home soon too. Mr. Rock, your wife wants you home soon too. Derek, you will be home soon. You drop me off. Amen. But I think that you should never spend on one item more than you have in your bank account. I think that you shouldn't clean your bank account out or use your money on one thing, because that one thing can't supply the multiplication of everything. I just, when I'm broke, I'm only broke from a hand standpoint, not from a wealth standpoint. But I had to teach myself that. And I think that we have to become students to our ignorance. Those that are ignorant have to become students and learn how to save. And I think that this is the year you ought to vow, I'll never live this curse again. I'll never live this curse again. I'm going to walk past those things, because the one thing I keep when I walk past those things, I keep my money. I keep my money, and that's important. I think that we try to blend in with people that have it, and we don't have it yet. So it's important that you discipline yourself. I like nice things, but I'm the deal man. Let's make a deal. I'm Bob Parker. Amen. Let's make a deal, because and I'll deal with quantity, because if the price goes down, you see what I'm saying? I'll make a deal. I'll call two people and say, look, let's go in and do this together. Go get some suits together to get the price down. Or let's go get this together to get the price. I'm just a deal man. If anybody ever work with me, I'll never start with the number to give me, unless it's ministry, then, because I'm a giver. But I want to encourage, especially people at Victorious Ministry, I want to encourage you. Our time is way past, but this is our first show, and we made a lot of mistakes already, so we're going to finish this. I want to encourage you to discipline yourself to prepare for your wealth. And you don't have to, there's a lot of checks coming. You gotta deny what you know, or you gotta deny what you have to keep what you have. But I mean, when you get that check, you put it in that bank, and you deny it to get more out of it. I encourage you that. I'm going to do something today. I want everybody to sow into Man Up by sowing into Victorious Ministry today. We had a powerful service this afternoon. It was powerful. And the Spirit of the Lord was so powerful, John, that we forgot to lift the offering at the end of the service. So I'm asking everybody to sow into Man Up to bring the balance to the house. Everybody that loves our ministry and believe in our ministry and know that they saw the move of God today at the 11 o'clock service, which is our biggest service. We forgot to make the request, and because the power of God was moving so strong. But I believe that the people that love us will look out for us. Cheryl, I don't know what happened to you at the 11 o'clock service. You was at the 9 o'clock service doing the camera, and I called a couple of people millionaires, and you left. So I guess you went to go find your million, but you wasn't there. Amen. But I want everybody to sow to maintain the vision of this house. Together we stand, divided we fall. And God be the glory to what He's done. Our time is up, is way up. Thank you, Nikki Fraser. Thank you, Saffron. Shalai, go say Saffron. Your wife is gave. She said, I'm sowing now, but send him home. We're gonna send, no, I'm just joking. So we want you to, we're going home. We see the snow, but we felt that we want to be a ministry that keeps you informed, keep you aware, and keep you on top. And sometimes we have to touch sensitive things to expose the root of failure. Amen. Our time is up. God bless you. Sow the Victorious Ministry now. We thank you so much for your giving. We love you. Bye-bye.